We are looking at restructuring educational system in Africa. Part 2. In our part 1, we looked at the challenges facing the current educational system, unemployment, social biases, industry downsizing, government lacking capacity to employ, and also different dimensions of educational system, which we highlighted that everyone in the 21st century should have these dimensions. First dimension, we say you should have personal education, know who you are, you should know yourself. You should have academic education. You should also have professional education. Then we talked about other dimensions of education. You should have native intelligence education. Our people are not illiterate. I want to sound it and sound it clear. There is nothing like an illiterate. Someone can be educated, someone can be uneducated, someone can be miseducated. I will discuss that in our last class. But the issue of illiterate, I said, I'm here to say no. The word illiterate was coined by our colonial masters to distinguish those who have passed through their slavery system to serve them in the pattern they wanted. But what does an illiterate mean? Because an illiterate means you don't know anything in any aspect of your life, which is not true. We should distinguish between schooling and education. Today, let's look at the characteristics of the kind of education that is needed in the current 21st century in Africa. Number one, the type of education that is needed now is an educational system that does not require irrelevant courses. If you go to university, somebody wants to study medicine, or you are bothering him with JST 101, JST 102, ICH 205, and all that. If it is medicine, it is medicine. In the current dispensation, we should advise our university system to remove irrelevant courses. Number two, any kind of education that must be designed in the 21st century must be digital and must not be location bound. Today, you have so many social media courses that you can learn even with your phone and laptop. Something like graphic design, something like digital marketing, something like automations. These are educational systems that when you are educated in this area, you start earning immediately. So it's not be location bound. You can learn from anywhere in the world. That's the kind of education we are also proposing. 3, the education system that we are looking at for the 21st century must be technologically and vocationally based. Hear me. It must be technologically and vocationally based, which means after that kind of education, you should have a skill that will sustain you, that you'll be able to offer service, and this skill must be vocational or the technical and must be technologically based. So if you have this education is not that, it is not education meant for the 21st century. So then another one is that education and the characteristics of education meant for the 21st century must be apprenticeship based or entrepreneurship based. We already know that apprenticeship, like the example that developed by the Anambra people in their early leaders developed apprenticeship is already been studied in Harvard and other major universities of the world as one of the best employing strategic education. That if you want to learn a trade, people didn't even know that people can learn a trade. People think that when you have money, you just fill your shop and whatever you think you can sell. At the end, you see, you will lose the whole money because you didn't know that this thing can be learned. But go to Onitsha and see people learning trade, learning everything. If it is fashion, you learn it. Even if it is, no matter what, even if it is a catering, you learn it. You learn everything. You will apprentice it. It must be entrepreneurially based. It must be apprenticeship based. We are also saying that this education must have is that this educational system should have AI, should have robotics, should have automation incorporated, because we're now in the era of AI. In fact, AI is taking over many jobs for those who have not embraced AI. Like I said, AI will take many jobs, whether we like it or not. But the jobs it will take are those jobs of people who refuse to embrace AI. If not, AI is meant to create jobs. It's meant to create more jobs. So embrace AI today, learn it today, be part of it today, so that you will not be left behind. Robotics for the children and primary, secondary, and even at higher levels of robotic system, automation, in fact, everything that needs to be automated, including building. So any educational system, those who are in professional fields, you need to understand that automation has come to stay. And no matter the type of structure that is being designed, it must incorporate AI, robotics, and automation. We're also saying that any kind of education that must be developed and believed in the 21st century must be skill-based. So immediately you finish from school, you should be able to do one thing for somebody. And let me tell you, in the 21st century, one skill is not enough for you to survive. So you should have at least minimum of 10, 15, 20 skills. As you're finishing that education system, you should have multiple skills. It should not be one skill. It should any education that is directed to one skill system is outdated and should be avoided. Any education system that is preparing you to be a job seeker is outdated. We are proposing a education system that will make you job creators, not job seekers. So to make you an employers of labor, not to be employed. So we're looking at the education system, and immediately you finish, you become a solution. After all, you are created to be a solution. So that's what we're looking at in this in part 2, where we will elaborate it more, and then in the part 3, we'll be looking at the design of this current structure, which is our main target. How do we structure educational system? The current system we say is 6334 system. Yes, some are running another kind of system. Well, we'll look at this 334 educational system and look at it and then bring up a structure that is meant for the 21st century. So as you follow us on the need to restructure educational system in Africa, why do we say Africa? We say Africa because most of the things we were taught, most of the education that we were given by our colonial masters were simply made for us to serve them in industry, and for us to serve them in institutions, for them to serve them, in the farms and other areas. So, but it didn't power us to become solution to our neighbors. It didn't power us to be self-reliant and self-dependent. So, in this dispensation of African restructuring a revolutionary educational system, which is being powered by British Engineering Academy, and then under the sponsorship of Engineer Dr. Opoke Sunday Andrew. We are saying we are coming on board, and you need to listen to us. The thing that education system is not working is no longer a news. Our education system is no longer. We see our youth roaming the street. See if you visit our schools, most of government schools are even empty, filled with grasses. The education system has collapsed both in Nigeria and in Africa. So we need to look at a new education system. As you wait for us in the next edition, you will get to know which kind of educational structure are we coming upon. Which kind of education system are we proposing? Meet us. Don't go away. Keep your eyes glued on part 3. As you hear from us, the new educational structure we're proposing. And immediately it's being proposed, you know that if Africa grabs it, then revolution has come to Africa. Development has come to Africa. Africa has come to rise. It's the beginning of rise of Africa in technology, in AI, in robotics, in automation, in every discipline and profession. So you are welcome. And I want to still say this is to be to be known everywhere. There is nothing like an illiterate. Just get knowledge in any area of your life. You can be addressed challenging. Thank you very much. As you follow us on our social media handles, it is still me, your friend, Dr. Opoke Sunday Andrew, founder and rector of the Engineering Academy. Wait for us in the next episode. Thank you very much. In our part 3, we'll be talking about the real structure which I am proposing for the 21st century education in Africa.